Drink from my well, she tells me, and I will replenish you. Bathe in my waters, and I will embrace you. Let my fields caress your feet, the dew kiss your toes as you stroll over the undulations of my landscape. Let the thick blanket of my forest shelter your spirit. The mud that cakes like paste on your skin be a salve. Feast on my beauty, not with your eyes, but with your heart. Feel the joy of the sunflowers dancing at the highway's edge. The alignment of sun between two half-moon rocks, cradling a ribbon of water cascading off a bluff. The refraction of light off the spray. The rust-stained cliffs encrusted with iron that once poured forth from my womb, birthing life, birthing us, birthing now. Imagine that. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that life is bursting forth at every moment? Even now, when the soil is cracked and parched. Even now, when the wounds of the past bleed open and hearts spill out with grief. Even now. Thank you. Thank you to Justice and VAMP, and welcome to Circularity. I'm Jennifer, if you don't know me, and I'm thrilled to be here with Justice and with VAMP. And we'll be sharing songs that were inspired by the poetry in my new collection, and then I'll also be sharing some of the stories that inspired the poems. So before we take off, a few housekeeping stuff. So you all have programs, and in the program there's a QR code that will take you to the lyrics, the words to the poems, and to the songs. So you could follow along as we're going, but my suggestion would be just to sit back and enjoy it, and then if you want to check out the words later, you can do that at home later. If you need a restroom, it's out the way you came in, around the back of the theater, down the hall. And this also would be a great time to check your cell phone and make sure that it's on silent or do not disturb or whatever it needs to be on. And then for people who like to know these kind of things, the runtime of the show is about 75 minutes. And other than that, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. And one other thing, we are live streaming this performance tonight, so welcome to everybody who's watching on the live stream. Hi, Mom and Dad. So here we go. So Circularity, Poems in the Spirit of Tarot, is my newest collection of poetry, and I wanted to share a little bit of the origin story of this collection. So in April of 2020, and if you think back, when I say April of 2020, that might evoke some memories for some people about what was going on in the world. A woman I know told me about an online course that she was doing called The Lightning Spiral. And it was based on Pamela and Joyce Eakin's Tarot of the Spirit deck and book. So the title piqued my curiosity, and I was kind of in the middle of the chaos that we were all kind of experiencing in April of 2020. So I thought, why not sign up for a class in Tarot? It was a correspondence course led by Pamela herself, and each month she would email me and anyone in the course a packet of materials that corresponded to each of the 72 cards in the deck of Tarot, the numbers and the archetypes. So it was a 3.5-year class. And each week, the readings and meditations and journaling prompts would invite me into inquiry around whatever energy we were exploring in that card. And often as I reflected, my thoughts flowed into poems. So there might be some of you who are like, awesome, Tarot, love it. And then there might be people who are like, what the heck is Tarot and why should I care? And I'm not here to tell you that, or convince you that you should care. It was just something that resonated with me. I could have chosen to study Carl Jung or Joseph Campbell and myth. I could have dived into the Tarot or the Bhagavad Gita, but Tarot caught my attention, so I went for it. And one thing I've come to appreciate about the structure that it provides is that the archetypes, the numbers, the elements represent patterns and themes of human experience, just like so many wisdom traditions and teachings do. It's an attempt to capture something universal over different times and worlds. And so the poetry that's in this collection is an artifact of my unfolding journey through this course, through the sequence of the Tarot. I like to say it's where the archetypal journey of the Tarot meets the unique landscape of my personal experience. So that's why I say it's in the spirit of Tarot and not literal interpretations. For example, the Temperance card. Temperance is an archetype in the Tarot, and temperance teaches the wisdom of moderation, of finding balance amidst extremes. And when I encountered temperance in my journey through the Tarot, what came to mind was a meditation practice that I had learned a decade earlier in Michael Brown's book, The Presence Process. And in that book, he teaches a meditation using the mantra, I am here now in this. So when I sat down with temperance, with the temperance card, here's what happened. I'm trying to rush things, to reach the end before I've even started. I'm thinking about time, the agenda, my next item of business. I'm second-guessing my decision to practice now. Maybe I should stop and come back later. Instead, I breathe. I am here now in this. One word on each inhale and exhale. I am here now in this. My dog barks, then quiet. I am here now in this. A wisp of hair breaks free of its clip, tickling my forehead. I am here now in this. Some creature scampers in the tree above me. I am here now in this. A center point emerges in my field of vision. A curtain lifts on the screen of my eyelids as though my eyes were wide open. I am here now in this. Golden rays appear from the center point. I am here now in this. Filaments of light spread wide enough to engulf me. I am here now in this. I allow myself to be submerged. I am here now in this. The whole field is golden light. I am the field of golden light. I am here, now, in this. The light converges overhead, streaming in and out of my crown. I am here, now, in this. I feel the laser-focused heat of the sun beaming on my dark hair, almost unbearable, then relenting under the shadow of a passing cloud. I am here, now, in this. And there is still time. We are here now in this. We are here now in this. This time, this planet, this human experience. Look around the room. If we can have the lights up a little, house lights up a little bit for just a moment. Maybe, there we go. There we go. Look around. Hi. Hello. Now I can see you. Hello. Look around. Look at all these people here. Look at all these wonderful humans here. Now, in this. Each of us unique, yet we share a thread of something bigger than any of us can hold on our own. The summer of 2021, I took a trip out to visit family and friends on the West Coast. And after having spent so much time at or around home, it was both scary and exhilarating to be traveling again. At this point, I was over a year into the Lightning Spiral course, and I had a regular practice of reading, meditating, and journaling on Sunday mornings. I was starting to notice the ways that the archetypes of the cards provided a lens through which I would meet the experience of my life. It's kind of like putting a filter on a photograph. My first stop on my trip was Los Angeles, and that's the place where I was born and mostly raised. I stayed at my aunt's house, which was as close to home as I can get in California, since my family and I moved to New York when I was 15. It was during a meditation. I was sitting on my aunt's deck. I am here now in this. I am here now in this. I am here now in this. And then this other phrase came into my head, let this be bigger than you. What? Where did that come from? Let this be bigger than you. The words echoed in my mind as I visited with my childhood friends, as I drove up the Pacific Coast Highway on the California coast. Let this be bigger than you. As I walked along eroding cliffsides, as I stood amidst the redwood trees. Let this be bigger than you. As I traveled to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, where the Grand Teton mountain range, which I'd visited dozens of times over the course of my life, had been disappeared by smoke from fires in Oregon. Let this be bigger than you. A mantra, a prayer, a recognition. When I returned to Austin later in the summer, I read a book that I had picked up on my trip. It's called Rooted by Lyanda Lynn Haupt. And in the book, she talks about the idea of bearing witness as a form of action and activism. And it reminded me of the physics experiments, which revealed that photons can change their nature when they're being observed. And then I was sitting on my back deck here back home in Austin, and this next poem poured out of me.
This be bigger than you. Let this be bigger than bigger than bigger than you. Let this be bigger than bigger than bigger than you. Let this be bigger than bigger than you. Let this be bigger than bigger than bigger than bigger than. Let this be bigger than bigger than bigger than bigger. Let this be bigger than bigger than bigger than bigger than. Let this be bigger than bigger than bigger than bigger. Let this be bigger than bigger than bigger than bigger than. Let this be bigger.
In relationship to my relationship with life, this prayer seems to be opening me in ways I don't fully understand yet. In relationship to climate change, collapse, transformation, however you want to name it, this prayer gives me space to breathe, to feel, to acknowledge. I am not in control.
This prayer seems to be opening me in I don't fully understand.
A voice inside my head cries, "This is urgent. Stop making excuses. You must do something." And maybe that's true, but I read something recently about bearing witness, which made me wonder if that could make a difference. To bear witness to this morning, to setting moon, to rising sun, to lilting winds, to clouds grazing sky, to dog chewing a leaf, to wrens nesting on the side of my house, to milkweed growing through the slats of the deck, to bottle brush drying in the planter, to mushrooms blooming on the fallen tree trunk split by lightning years ago. Half of it grows upright, the other half caresses the ground. When ice covered Texas in the February freeze, a friend told me he felt sorry for the trees. I looked around at the frozen canyon and thought, somehow I think the trees will be okay. Indeed, they seem to be. Humans, perhaps another story. There is a strange dissonance in looking at what I know is there but cannot see. In the mountains, a white-out landscape, a parlor trick of Mother Nature to make a whole mountain range disappear, not with fog or snow, but a skyscape of smoke from fires to the west, reminding me of the morning I woke to find my canyon cloaked in ice, a shimmering translucence where the night before stood a dense sea of green. There and not there at the same time. Is this real? I'm embarrassed to admit, a part of me is filled with exhilaration. The sheer enormity of existence, the vulnerability and the persistence, the beauty and the devastation. Could it be both praise and grief to bear witness to this moment, celebrating the mountains though they are veiled by smoke? To this moment, consecrating a concrete slab at the edge of a cliff, remnants of a home that no longer exists, one massive column lifeless on the beach below. To this moment, dancing with the trees and the bright chiming melodies of icicle castanets. Let this be bigger than you.
Let this be bigger than 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 bigger than
When I close my eyes, bird song fills the whole space, and the wind in the trees and gentle chimes. A car across the road, an engine above.
Bigger than you.
We are here now in this. And some time ago, it was before COVID, I know that, I had coffee with a young man. He was an artist, and we were talking about creativity and imagination and how we get inspiration. And at some point in the conversation, I made a comment about growing up in the 70s and 80s. He looked at me with wide eyes and an expression that I've only seen in science fiction movies. Whoa, that's so cool. You know what it was like before. Before what? Before these, he said, holding up his cell phone. Before we were constantly connected to everything, everywhere, all the time. Before we were always reachable, always on, never had a quiet moment. There was constant noise. We knew everything that was happening everywhere on the planet, everywhere in the world. And yeah, I do know what it was like before. It's getting harder and harder to remember. That conversation made me think about all the ways that we measure life in befores and afters. I mean, I think about how many times I say before COVID. In my personal life, I can mark the landmarks of before an illness, before divorce, before kids, before marriage, before I moved to Austin. Someday we'll all be saying, before AI. There's so many ways we count time by comparing ourselves to something that once was or might have been. But time keeps passing. And I imagine myself to be back where we started. And I wonder how we got here from the task of stay alive. Stay alive, stay alive, stay alive. From survival of the species, of the tribe, of humanity and civilization and planet. When did so much complication enter the story? I try to make responsible choices. I stop shopping big box stores, but order my planner refills on Amazon. I go to the farmer's market, but my food is wrapped in plastic. I buy bananas in Texas in the winter. I put the signs up in my front yard and solar panels on the roof, leave the back wild for the birds, snakes, mammals, but seal myself in my house at night, walk on paved sidewalks by day, and pay my property taxes as if I could own the earth. I wake each morning somewhere between angst and awe, leaning into angst, knowing coffee will get me closer to awe, knowing my comfort comes at a cost to something else, to someone else, knowing nothing is a given in this fragile world. Each choice, each step feels unbidden. Is that a rationalization? Of course it is. Is my life a series of compromises? Of course it is. And still, I don't know any other way to be other than exactly as I am. Earnest, human, love, failing, striving, being unfinished. We are here now in this. And in the tarot, the Wheel of Fortune card represents the cycles of change over time. The wisdom of the wheel teaches that our work is to stay at the center of the wheel, observing change, responding, adapting without getting spun out of control on the edges. That feels like a tall order most days. I'm learning that it can be a practice of perspective. Like looking at something I've known my whole life and turning it on my head. Like asking questions, wondering, what if we were meant for this time? What if it's not the trees that lose their leaves, but the leaves that lose the trees? Circularity is the title poem of my book and this performance, and it asks us to reconsider what is known and to expand to new possibilities. And welcome VAMP to sing Justice's composition of Circularity.
I wonder, 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 wonder if it's the leaves that lose their trace, which remain stubbornly upright and still. If the leaves surrender to a passing breeze, the lessening of light, needs the lessening of light, the lessening of light. Wonder, their host, midwives and doulas, weaving time backwards and forwards through ancestors and descendants, The haunting subtle wind, inviting the stillness into the moment of now. We are
have a thing for airport gift shops. It's like there's this urgency to find something I left behind. One day I found a t-shirt, cotton soft as petals, the washed out color of lilacs, a white silhouette of the state where I live, and one word, home. I thought, how sweet. And then how strange. I cannot imagine a shirt that could fit. My mind muses over all the variations as if home could be contained by boundaries, state lines, nations, or even a planet. What if I'm just here to visit? What if this place is just the right nest to rest this traveler's spirit? I have had the opportunity to travel a lot, all over the country and all over the planet. My favorite is when I get to stay with people who live in the place that I'm visiting. It's like I get a glimpse into their life and world. Something that comes across so clearly to me when I travel is how many different ways there are to live. And I started to notice that as a tourist, when I'm traveling somewhere else, as a tourist, when I encounter something that's different, out of my normal, seemingly unusual, I tend to approach it with curiosity. But when I'm home in my daily life and I encounter something that's out of my normal, I often move more towards judgment. And I think it's the mindset of curiosity rather than judgment that makes travel feel so enjoyable to me. So one day, I was driving here in Austin. I was driving around a parking lot, really busy parking lot in a shopping center, and was trying to find a spot. I was getting really frustrated and annoyed and irritated at all the other drivers. And I was feeling so much pressure of time and being in a hurry and just really kind of feeling. And out of the blue, a thought popped into my head. What if I imagined that I'm a tourist here? Not just a tourist here in Austin, but a tourist here on planet Earth, observing the human experience, noticing the way that people act and respond and react and interact with each other and the environment. I kind of liked this little thought experiment, so I kept it up. I kept doing it. And over time, as I played with the thought experiment, I started to ask another question. If I'm a tourist on planet Earth, then where did I come from? I started to imagine my connection to the vast universe of life. I started to imagine that everything that exists now was once dreamed by those who came before, those who are beyond this earthly experience. And then I realized it's true. Everything that exists now was once imagined or dreamed or ideated by those who came before us. And if everything that exists now was once offered through the prayers and dreams and ideas and imagination of those before and beyond, then can we offer our prayers and dreams and hopes and wishes not only for the present, but to the future? A future we may never know or realize. So imagine this. Imagine that through the Milky Way galaxy, there's a river of prayers streaming through the cosmos, receiving and beaming hopes and dreams and prayers across time and in all directions. Imagine that. What prayer would you offer to this stream? Feel that prayer. And then imagine yourself beaming it out to that river. A river river of prayers runs through this world. A river of prayers runs through this world. A river of prayers runs through this world. Whispered into the waters, whispered into the waters by our ancestors, 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 sung into breezes by flocks of winged wanderers, whispered into the waters. A river of prayers runs through this world. A river of prayers runs through this world. A river of prayers runs through this world, whispered into the waters. Stretching back to the time before time, when the sacred veil was thin, and the promise of tomorrow not given, a river of prayers runs through this world. Sometimes I catch a wisp of that stream, beguiling me, floating me on that raft of hope, gifted by those who would never know. Gifted by those who would never know the likes of you, the likes of me, but who were called to make their offering to the mysterious unknown. A river of prayers runs through this world. A river of prayers runs through this world. A river of prayers runs through this world, whispered into the waters, whispered into the waters. Thank you to Laura for arranging those beautiful harmonies. My daughter's here tonight. She's 15. She's a freshman in high school. And when she was younger, when she was in elementary school, I used to get invited into her class to share poetry when they would do their little poetry unit. And the first time that I was going to do this, she was a little nervous because she didn't want me to embarrass her. So I said the night before, I said, well, why don't we look through my poems and you can help me choose the ones you think your friends would like. So we sat down together on the sofa and we're looking through my book, Brainstorms, and I found a poem about her that she wanted me to read to her friends. And then she said, Mama, do you have any funny poems? My friends really like funny poems. I said, okay, let me look. So I start flipping through my book, flipping. And I had this realization, and I said to myself out loud, wow, a lot of these poems are really sad. My daughter, my sweet 8-year-old daughter, put her hand on my shoulder, looked me in the eye, and said, do you have a sad life, Mommy? And I said, no, I don't have a sad life. I have a wonderful life, but sometimes I feel sad or mad or anxious or confused or scared or any one of a number of things. And sometimes when I write about it, it helps me. The poems in Circularity were written during a time period that stretched from 2020 to 2025. It was a time that was marked by COVID, my own personal health challenges, my mom's cancer diagnosis and treatment. She's doing great. Hi, Mom. And then, amidst all of that uncertainty and change, I was asking, I think we were all asking, how do we move forward? Maybe we're still all asking that question. Well, it turns out there's a tarot card for that. It's the Chariot. And I encountered the Chariot at one of the lowest points of my life. Of all the befores and afters, this is the one that I'm still not quite gotten over. It was 2022, and my body had been taken down by a condition that took months and months to diagnose. I was in constant pain. I couldn't get through the day without frequent naps and long stretches in bed. Even after a diagnosis, there wasn't really a clear pathway for treatment. And so it's kind of like, well, we kind of don't know. You can try this, you can try that, but just kind of have to see what happens. All I could think was, why? And then the Chariot comes in. She says to me, if you want a different answer, you're going to need to ask different questions. What is this world? What is this world? What world is this? Lingers on morning fog and dusky evening sky. As if the mind can grasp an answer that is real. As if the pathway to healing is a puzzle to solve, a problem to fix, and not a wholeness to feel. To heal is to make whole. Healing is wholing. Healing is wholing, and wholing is possible because I am all of me, because we are all of us, because all is. Healing is possible because all is always. I lie down and feel a pulse of pain coursing through me. And why is this happening? Why is this happening? Why is this happening running through my head? Then a shift. From why is this happening to how can I move forward? A new possibility. When I let go of the urgency of my body, I begin to sense the lightness of dissolving into everything and nothing at the same time. Is this what it feels like at the end? When I close my eyes, the screen flickers and I see dancers in beige linen twirl across a raw oak floor. Jubilant comes as an answer to a question I hadn't even posed. Welling tears in the chalice of my heart. When my daughter asks, "Do you like it when I'm at your house? Or do you like it when I'm not at your house?" I tell her that I like it when she's at my house and also when she's not. I know it isn't the answer she's looking for. That's literally the most you response, she counters with an eye roll and a laugh. I tell her that, of course, I prefer when she's with me, but she asked a different question. We are here now in this, and I am here on stage with incredible musicians and vocalists. And before we go into the last story and song, I just want to take a minute and thank Justice for his incredible compositions. I met Justice through my friend Lorraine, and he had composed a couple of pieces with guitar for a couple of her poems, and I approached him at some point last year, and we were looking through some of the poems, and he had this idea to compose for women's vocals, and that's how VAMP came into the picture. Amazing, talented women of VAMP. So it's truly been like beyond my wildest dreams, and such an honor to work with such talented people. And to hear, it's always kind of risky when, having someone else speak or sing or read my words, but just hearing VAMP and how they bring the words to life through Justice's compositions just overwhelms me. So thank you. And I'm going to give the mic to Justice for a moment.
Hey, oh. My bad. How's it going, everybody? I appreciate everyone for being here. I really appreciate the support. Yeah, this has been a really fun project, probably the most fun project I've ever done. Love it, I love it a lot. Yeah, if you don't know me, I run the ticketing here at Austin Classical Guitar, which we do all of our concerts right here at the Rosette. And yeah, I appreciate y'all. Also, last thing I want to say about VAMP, obviously I love all of y'all, they are amazing, but I want to give a special shout out to Lily Boessen. I keep saying your name wrong, but but she, VAMP had someone got sick in the group about 2 days ago, and Lily came from Sherman, Texas, and she learned all this music in about 2 days. So yeah, great. Thank you.
Hi there. We are VAMP. We are so pleased to be here, and want to give a huge thank you to Jen and to Justice for the invitation to collaborate. It has been really a very cool experience. We don't often get to work with poets in performance. Usually their words are on the page and that's it. But to have the poet here on stage and singing with us as well has been such a pleasure and really special. If you don't know VAMP, we released our first album this past fall. You can find it on Bandcamp. You can also buy a CD or vinyl if you're into that at our merch table out here after the show. Please follow us on socials if you're interested in knowing what we're up to. We are VAMP Vocals, mostly on Instagram. We do have some concerts coming up this spring. We have a free concert on Mother's Day at St. Thomas More. And then we'll be performing at Here Be Monsters, which is a very cool new music festival, at the end of May. And then at the beginning of June, we'll be in Victoria for their Bach Festival. In addition, another thank you to Lily for stepping in for Mary at the last second. She's literally had this music about 30 hours, so we are very grateful. So thank you so much.
And I'll also mention, I have for those of you who are new to my work, I have a mailing list, and I send poems on Sundays. Sometimes it's every week, sometimes it's every other week, sometimes it's once a month, but it's always on Sunday. So if you want to get on that mailing list, you can go to my website and sign up that way. Before we go into the final song of the evening, I just want to share another story. And I mentioned that I have traveled a lot. And there's one time I was on an airplane, and an older gentleman was sitting next to me. And I was writing in my journal, as I often do. And he turned to me and asked if I was a writer. And I said, yes, it's one of the many things I do. And that led into a conversation about my writing, about my work in public health, about parenting, family, all the places I've lived. And he asked great questions. And the conversation just kept going and going and going. And finally, there was enough of a pause that I could turn the questions back to him. And I said, what do you do? And he paused, he leaned back in his seat, and he said, oh, me? I am learning about life. Aren't we all? My 22-year-old son was here earlier. He just graduated UT in the spring. How come? And he's starting a new chapter. He started medical school. He's got all these decisions to make in front of him. And it occurred to me, he was home over the winter break, and we were talking, and it occurred to me that one of the features of life, at least as a modern Western human, is that we make choices in our 20s that set us on a trajectory. And we have very little experience with which to make those decisions. And then, I just turned 50 last year, and so I'm like, oh yeah, I think I'm starting to get how this game works, sort of. But I've already, I'm already kind of, partway down the road. There's certain things, I can course correct, but I'm here now in this. But another feature of life is that we live in communities. We live in communities, multi-generational communities, communities of people with different perspectives, ideas, backgrounds, and we can learn from each other, and we can learn from the experiences of our elders. We can learn from the rituals and the traditions that have been passed down by our ancestors. And we can learn from the innovations of those younger than us, the new ideas. In Tarot, the archetype of the high priestess teaches us about inner knowing. When life starts to feel bigger than me, or bigger than what I can handle, her wisdom reminds me that there are also mysterious forces that I can't explain, but that I'm part of. And one thing I'm learning from this journey of life and from the journey through the Tarot is that we are all of these archetypes. We have them all in us. And the high priestess, she says to me, think about what matters to you. What really matters? Think about it. And there's always something you can do. It's not always about the grand gesture. Often it's more about the invisible work that has the biggest impact. And really, we may never fully know the impact of that invisible work. Sitting with my mom in the weeks after her cancer treatment, just being together in silence. The friend who takes my dogs when I'm too tired to walk and always has a nourishing meal for me when she brings them back. The stranger who takes time out of their day to have a conversation and ask me a question that sets me on a new path. And just like we don't know why the photon changes its nature when it's being observed, there are forces at play that we can't understand, but we can feel, and we can know that they're real. Welcome, VAMP, for the final song of the evening.
Why not? It doesn't have to be forbidden messages. It's not to convince anyone of anything, not for accolades of praise, but to open as a conduit of ideas, truth, and love. Mark in this story us. This story us. An invitation, an invitation, an invitation, a place for you to settle in, a space for pain to let, for fear to let go of its hold. Could you allow joy to seep into invisible the space between expectation and unfoldment for love to be what connects through grief, through release of disappointment, not enoughness, the pressure of time and imagined Listen, you might hear something that resonates with what you know. Listen, you might hear something that resonates with what you know. Listen, you might hear something that resonates with
in this together. This is my story, what I've lived, what I've learned. I want to share. An invitation, a place for you to settle in, a space for pain to land, for fear to let go its hold. You might hear something that resonates with what you know. Let's be in this together. If you're going to do something, why not do it with your whole heart? The prayer, the practice, the sitting together in silence. Could you allow joy to seep into the space between expectation and unfoldment? Could you allow for love to be what connects through grief, through release of disappointments, not enoughness, the pressure of time and imagined destinations? We are a constellation of relational intelligences. I hear you. I accept your story. Let's be in this together. Thank you to the folks in the back, Todd, Liam, and Andy, for doing all the technical stuff. I want to give a quick shout out to my friend Catherine Torini. She, if you may have seen this installation when you walked in, and Catherine texted me a couple days before this performance and do you need any support? I was like, actually, I kind of want to do this thing where people can write their prayers and dreams and wishes. And she was like, I got it. I'm on it. And she created that installation. So remember when I asked, what prayer would you beam out to the cosmos? There's tags out there, write them down, and we're creating a river of prayers that we're beaming out into the world. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for watching on the live stream, and we'll be out in the hall saying hi and have a drink. And thank you. This is first time people have heard these songs sung. So, and you got to be part of it. So thank you. Oh, this is for me?
Yeah, those are for you.
Oh my God.
These are for y'all.
All of y'all. These are for y'all.
And then Sharmila, will you take a picture of all of us?
Do you want some lights on?
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh my God.
Justice, stay up for a picture.
Don't go anywhere. That's us. Why not?
Are we holding our pictures?
I'm holding my flowers. Yeah, sure.
Like pageant queens.